Coming up, meet the sisters who play friends in the hit series Reservation Dogs. Plus, the woman known as the Navajo Knitter shows us her creation. And Mary Smith sets the bar a little higher for all Native lawyers. I'm Mackenzie Allen Charnley. Join us for those interviews from the ICT Newscast.
This program is made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, a private corporation funded by the American people.
Arizona PBS is proud to support Indian Country Today. For 6 decades, we've provided television programs and now digital content. But we go beyond that, sending outreach teams across Arizona, offering workshops in language and literacy, family engagement and community outreach, and supporting tribal communities with early learning and school readiness resources. Join us at azpbs.org.
This is the ICT Newscast with Aaliyah Chavez.
Chinangale, we're so glad you could join us. For the first time ever, a Native American woman will head the American Bar Association. It was founded in 1878, and today the ABA is the largest voluntary association of lawyers in the world. Mary Smith recently became the president of the group that's called the National Voice of the Legal Profession. ICT's editor-at-large, Mark Trahant, spoke to her about her historic selection.
Well, first, just congratulations on being president-elect of the American Bar Association.
Oh, thanks so much.
It's really, in some ways, so appropriate because there's such a strong relationship with tribal nations and the law. And this kind of almost codifies that.
Well, I'm glad you think that. I mean, I know there's a long history in our country with the Iroquois and other tribes and the legal systems they set up, and I hope to continue that tradition.
What do you think? How will you tell us about your role and what you'll be doing in that job?
Well, the American Bar Association is the largest voluntary bar association in the United States, and it has 4 goals, and those are going to be my touchstones during my year. One is to serve our members. We help lawyers become better lawyers. We advance the rule of law, and many people may not know, but we actually run programs promoting democracy and rule of law issues in over 60 countries, including, of course, promoting the rule of law in the United States, which is much needed now. And third is to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion. And of course, that's a passion of mine, and hope to continue all the good work that the ABA has been involved with.
And if you look at the judiciary and Article 3 judges, there's been a big bump in the last couple of years, but it's still way below any kind of representation.
Oh, for Native Americans, right. Yes, I know, because for a long time, Diane Hametewa was the first Native American woman in the history of our country to be a federal judge. We have gotten several more through the Biden administration, which is fabulous, but we're still, there still has not been a Native American on the appellate courts. We're still waiting for that. And then, of course, the Supreme Court, that would be a dream. I'm glad that we finally got our first African American woman on the Supreme Court, but I would love to see the day to have a Native American on the Supreme Court.
In a role like president, there's a lot of education involved, and I guess the constituency would be both the attorneys who are members, but also to the general public. Mm-hmm. And how important does Indian law figure into those 2 areas?
The ABA does a significant amount on Indian law. We have a committed group of people who've worked on things. One of the things we do at the ABA is we have a House of Delegates that passes policy, and once it's adopted by the House, then the ABA can lobby on those issues. And so in the past few years, we've actually adopted policy on quite a few issues, including violence against women and the tribal jurisdictional provisions, missing murdered Indigenous women, funding for the Indian Health Service, voting rights for Native Americans, support for tribal courts. And so there's been quite a lot, and we have weighed in Congress on all those issues.
One of the things that's happened in a number of states is to put Indian law on the bar exam. Is that something that you see expanding?
Yeah, when I was also previously president of the National Native American Bar Association, and that was one of the projects of the National Native American Bar Association. And I think it is very important, particularly in states where there's greater populations of Native Americans in that state, to have Indian law in the bar. But also that also funnels down to law schools as well, because if Indian law is not on the bar exam, then some of the schools, they may only offer Indian law one quarter, one semester, not the whole year. So, but it is an important area. I mean, we saw just last week the Supreme Court issued a decision on Indian law, because usually in every term there's usually one Indian law case every term in the Supreme Court.
I want to ask you about diversity and inclusion. And if you visit any law school these days, and I have recently, the number of law students who are female is significantly higher than the number of males. Does that now start to factor into partnerships and other promotion opportunities? Or are we still seeing a gulf there?
No, sadly, no. Women now make up, like as you noted, over 50% of law school classes, but we still see, in terms of partnerships and law firms, that women are only still hovering around the 19-20%, and even in the last 30, 40 years, it's only gone up incrementally each year. I mean, it's going in the right direction, but it's going so slowly. I mean, we have had women in law school classes for 50 years, and we don't see it translate into law school partnerships. I mean, we're starting to see more women general counsels of corporations, more people of color, but it's still very slow.
When you look at the history of the country, there's kind of a cycle of support for legal systems and then an unraveling of that. And it kind of is a long history. You see that now with folks worried about the court and different opinions of the court. How do you get people thinking about the rule of law?
It is a lot of education, and I think it starts when children are younger, learning about civics, learning about our system of government, the three branches of the federal government, the relationship of the federal government to the states, just even learning about the presidency. I mean, I think it starts young. So many people are not aware of civics. They don't teach it a lot anymore. And it's just education for adults as well, I think goes a long way. And the ABA, actually, we do have a public education division, and we sponsor Law Day and every year to help that in the schools.
One of the things I've always liked to watch is law students doing moot courts and how much intensity there is in that process. I think that's the kind of thing where the public sees it, then it changes your perception, because the amount of preparation and the amount of thought that goes into it is pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, one of the things, I've been involved in bar associations for a long time, and the Chicago Bar Association has a program partnering with the Girl Scouts where the girls are able to do trial advocacy. So it is very important.
I just want to conclude with what makes you most hopeful about the legal profession.
I think the young people I meet who are going to law school, and just the enthusiasm and passion they have, it always buoys my heart and gives me hope for the future.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Mary Smith also created the Caroline and Ora Smith Foundation. Its mission is to train Native American girls in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It's named after her mother and grandmother. We'll be right back. The high rate of suicide in Indian country is no secret. Sadly, that includes Native veterans who often suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. 3 years ago, a community group was formed on the Navajo Nation to help veterans deal with this epidemic. Diné Naazbaa Partnership does outreach to veterans to help them have a better quality of life. Bernie Tyler is the program lead. She's a veteran herself, having served 5 years in the Army and 3 years in the Reserves. She explained how they managed to reach veterans on the nation's largest Indian reservation.
Bernie Tyler Unishia, Hawathana, Nishle, Tachini Bushes Chin, Tudijini dashiche, Pohatlini dashinale, Ado Salatso Enashle, US Army, not Ani Nazda Inasha. So all I said was just a basic, my name, my clans. I'm originally from Shiprock, and that I'm a US Army veteran. So to answer your question, Aaliyah, Diné Naazbaa Partnership is a nonprofit organization. It's a local program. It is very, hence the name, Navajo veteran focused. So we are a community-led resource initiative, and we try to be impactful where we can make changes in the lives of veterans on the Navajo Nation. So we connect with all veterans, their spouses, and caregivers. We start by understanding needs that exist in the veterans world. We really try to increase our outreach efforts by utilizing a 4-step plan. And that is to connect, educate, advocate, and collaborate. So this plan, if executed well, works. All of these steps are important, especially the first one, which is making that initial connection. And for Diné Naazbaa Partnership, fulfilling that, we go to outreach events, we go to conferences, we just get our name out there. So that's how we kind of do the outreach. So back to this plan, if executed well, it works. If we identify a need, let's just say such as housing or employment, healthcare benefits increases, VA health issues, and there's so much more out there, then we get on that and we address it on behalf of that veteran to our partners and resources that we've established and that we trust. So ultimately, at the end of the day, we just try to increase the veterans' quality of life.
When you're out in the community and talking to these Navajo warriors, as you call them, what is the single greatest need that so many of them share with you?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'll be honest, housing, I think housing is really a nationwide thing, but it hits the nation harder. So there's protocols and steps that have to be taken through the Veterans Office here on the nation. So it just takes longer. So housing is definitely one, followed probably right after that with employment. So yeah, veterans are being displaced, or their homes are starting to deteriorate, and they just want like minor work done, and even that is becoming difficult.
Can you maybe talk about the diversity of ages of the Navajo veterans that you work with? I mean, I think so many of us think of veterans as old elders in our community, the pinnacles of our community, but there's a long history and legacy of Native people who serve in the armed forces.
Yeah, the diversity is tremendous. I help people that are just getting out. So these are like post 9/11 veterans. When you go to meetings, yeah, generally there are like elders there. So age-wise, it just ranges. You have young veterans and then the elders as well.
Do you think that being fluent in your language, the Navajo language, helps you reach these veterans?
Almost automatically. It's kind of a warmth, connectedness. So when I start speaking Navajo to them, they already open up and say, oh, okay, I don't have to, strain so hard to speak English, which some of them can't or hardly can. So when you come off and do an introduction to Navajo, they're like, okay, I can settle down a little bit and I know that I can talk to her.
Absolutely. I mean, nationwide, maybe talk about what kinds of efforts you're noticing and witnessing that are going on for Native veterans all over the country and not just on the Navajo Nation.
Wow, there's a lot of resources and partnerships that I'm reaching out to, or the other way around. Some of them are like emailing me and saying, hey, Bernie, I think we would like to speak with you. This is not the Navajos, but this is maybe like the Cherokee Nation. They're doing similar things. They're out in the community trying to help their veterans as well. So just forming partnerships and really getting to know some of these resources at their level is kind of it's instrumental to the job I'm doing.
Bernie Tyler encourages Navajo veterans living on the reservation to reach out to Diné Naazbaa Partnership for help. We'll be right back. When When you think of Native art, knitted caps and sweaters might not come to mind immediately. Yet that's what Jennifer Berg is making. She's Navajo and grew up in a family of weavers and learned Navajo textiles at a young age. Her family had a business, and today she's using all that knowledge to create her own wearable art.
Everyone calls me Native Knitter. People don't realize my name is actually Jennifer. But I started knitting about 10 years ago now, and I kind of got into the design world 5 years ago when I started an Instagram account to host all of my projects that I was working on, but none of them were native. They had no native influence on them. There's just other people's patterns. But then looking on Instagram and realizing there wasn't any native influence within this knitting community, I was like, I can make some patterns and they'll be authentic. They're not going to be just appropriated designs that's a sweater that's called Aztec and it has nothing to do with the Aztecs or anything, So I was like, I want to bring real, authentic native design into the knitting industry.
And when you first started, can you maybe talk about how many other Native or Indigenous people you knew that were also knitters?
I think I only knew maybe 5. And they weren't designing or anything at the time. And they started designing like right after I started kind of putting stuff into magazines and things like that and getting picked up. I think they realized hey, this is something that people really like. And this is going to be really good for the knitting community. And the knitting community gave it all of us so much support in it too.
Absolutely. I mean, we see a piece there behind you, a few of them actually. Did you create those as well?
Yeah, so this is my sheep camp sweater. And then that's a cowl. I don't know if you can really see it, but it has just kind of some design kind of swooping off to the side. And then this was a collaboration with a company to make blankets.
That's beautiful. And I mean, being Navajo, we see so often rugs are just a staple of Navajo culture. Maybe talk about how that translates into the designs that you make.
Yeah, so I come from a background of weavers. My great-grandmother, she used to weave, and we have a family business on I-40 on the Navajo Nation. And my grandma would weave her rugs and run down to Route 66 and then, sell her rugs. And then she started realizing hey, I'm actually really good at business. So she started incorporating business into her weaving, and that's something that I feel I love business, which is hilarious. But I started realizing hey, I can do more than the designs. I can take a lot of pottery designs and things like that and mix them into knitwear. And then on top of that, I have a little small knitting store that I sell products in. And but yeah, the rugs and the pottery that I grew up in the store with really helped me learn a lot about design. And then I was just forced to see it every single day. I was the kid up in the office pricing all the pottery, and I'm really used to carrying pottery around, and there's no way I'm gonna break it. But yeah, that kind of just meshed into what I'm doing now.
Absolutely. I mean, maybe talk about the work that goes into creating a piece, say the one behind you. I mean, how many hours, how many days does it take you to complete something?
Yeah, so initially I was making hats when I was in college and selling the hats. But I realized the return on that was not very good because it takes about 2 weeks to make a hat. And how many hours? It kind of depends because it's a project you pick up and knit a little row and then you put it down. But I just wasn't getting what I was really it wasn't really worth it with my time. And so I realized if I made patterns and sold digital copies of the patterns for others to make, that was more worth the time. But a sweater like this probably takes 2 months or 3 months to even from sketching to swatching to making the charts to be able to do it, getting it tech edited, and then actually knitting it all up. And then from there, I have people testing my work for 6 weeks. It's just a whole process. But, once that download comes out, then I make money on it for a few years, hopefully.
Absolutely. I mean, we only have a short time left here, but I want to talk about social media because you mentioned that earlier. Maybe talk about how you're using platforms like Instagram to build your following.
Yeah, so on my platform, I show like what I'm doing with my projects and stuff, but then also if there's like things on the like for Navajo Nation, if there's like during COVID and stuff, I was able to show a lot of like what's going on. And so I use my platform not only for what I'm doing, but also just to like be kind of a spokesperson for the Navajo Nation, because a lot of people have no understanding of what is going on out here.
When we come back, we'll meet the three Podemski sisters who all have roles in the hit series Reservation Dogs. Stay with us. Imagine having not one, not two, but three actors in the family. Now think what it would be like if they all got roles in the same series. That's what's happening with Tamara, Sarah, and Jennifer Podemski. Almost. Sandra Schulman chatted with two of the sisters about their roles in Season 2 of Reservation Dogs and who got to play in Season 1.
I talked with Tamara and Sarah Podemski. Their older sister, Jennifer, played Willie Jack's mother in Season 1. Tamara relates what it's like to act with family.
No, there's it's just pure fun. I feel like one of the most important things I can ask for when I'm in a scene, playing with a scene partner, is some level of trust. If you can get that as like the foundation for all the play that happens on top of that, you're in for a good time. And when it's with your sister, and it's with, in particular, my sister, I went in knowing that I trust her. She's a super professional. And so it just means that you have the freedom to play, and Reservation Dogs is that environment, where you really just get to improvise. I mean, you're doing everything that's true to the script, but there is that freedom to play. And I think that's what that was the most enjoyable part of it, is that I could go in, I could trust that she's got my back. And we're not playing sisters, but we're playing best friends. So you go in sometimes needing to have backstories with other characters and actors that you've never met, or that you might not like. So it's just it's a real gift when you can go in and have a backstory that is an intimate relationship, because that comes across on screen. So I haven't seen it either, but I believe it comes across on screen.
Sarah's character is Bear's mom, and she appeared in the last season.
This season is a really great season for Rita because we kind of get to see her, having a bit more fun and kind of getting back to herself. She's not just Bear's mom this season. She's kind of remembering who she is as a woman, and kind of getting back to herself a little bit. So there's a few really great episodes, and one in particular where Rita really gets to shine. I think just, having fun and getting in touch with her joy, and being on the market again, and, putting herself first. I think she feels like Bear's, taken care of, and he's like, he's a good kid, and I think she's really proud of him, and he's, trying to get a job, and, she kind of feels like, what? Let's get back to me and my social life and who I am and what my wants and needs are. So, there's lots of auntie time, lots of girlfriend time. And, we'll see what happens romantically for her.
Sarah and Tamara's characters are old friends, not sisters on the show.
They have a little bit of a history, but they also have this really beautiful friendship and love for each other. And obviously that wasn't that hard to play. Just being able to, have that connection with Tamara was just so great. And there was just so much laughter. So it was a really fun time to work together.
The oldest Podemski sister, Jennifer, was in the first season.
She was playing Willie Jack's mom in the first season. And unfortunately she wasn't able to come back this season because she was on her own show. But that's the dream, right? For us all to be able to work together one day. We've never done it. So I think we're all just like, it makes so much sense to all put us in the same show just to see what happens. So I think we're waiting for that for sure.
Sarah talks about working with her family.
You never know like how your siblings are at work or like your parents. Like you just really don't, like they kind of go off and go to work and you hope they're good people. But so it was really amazing to have Tamara there and just see like her work ethic and see how kind she is and funny and just generous. And it was just so great to see her shine like that and just to see such a great example of, how to be an actor on set. And yeah, definitely it feels like, you're already on the same team, but then you're on the same team as like, actors together doing a project. So it was on lots of levels. It felt really good and comfortable and just the laughing, like we were just so silly. I think even we surprised ourselves at like how silly and how much joy we had. It was really fun.
Season 2 of Reservation Dogs is airing now on Hulu. And that's a slice of our Indigenous world. For all the latest, visit ictnews.org. From all of us in the newsroom, stay safe, my relatives.
Sometimes you got to take a stand just because you know you can. Oh, you got to run, you got to run.
The Sand Creek Massacre, the betrayal that changed Cheyenne and Arapaho people forever, focuses on tribal accounts of Colorado's deadliest day. Exhibition details at historycoloradocenter.org.
This program is made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, a private corporation funded by the American people.